My name is Edward Hamilton Clark. I'm a Learning Development Manager at Orange Campus, which is the university for managers at Orange. Empowerment well, my definition, it's only my definition, it's not the definition, so in as few words as possible, would be the journey from moving to power over to moving power with. So instead of having power over somebody, we have power with somebody. So it's about giving power, but it's also about creating the circumstances so that a person can accept, can take the power that we're offering. So it's give and take. You have to have both. The importance of empowerment, I'd say it's about having agency. So it's about being able to take decisions within a given parameter. So it doesn't mean, and everyone does everything. It means within a certain framework. You have freedom within a framework to be able to be as effective as possible, so that you can take decisions, you can be as close to the action as possible, which means that business processes can happen with less wasted time. So it doesn't mean they're going to happen faster, it means you're going to waste less time. So the result is speed, but it's not the objective, it's the result. I'd say the first thing is to clarify why they want to do it. What is specifically the issue that they want to deal with? Because I mean, it's complex, because there can be many things. And what is their actual desire as well? Because you have to have a need, and a business need, and also a human desire to do something different, because it requires a change in behavior. So it's not just changing your processes, it's changing your behavior as well. And that takes personal work, and it takes time and effort. It's not comfortable. So you have to be willing to put yourself in a place of discomfort to be able to get where you want to go. So you have to be very clear on why you want to go there. I mean, if we're talking about a manager with his team, if we're talking about the department, if we're talking about a company-wide, I mean, it can take anywhere from sort of a few months to a few years. So it's a very organic journey as well. There's no predefined method or sort of magic recipe or magic wand that's, you can just wave it at the problem and it'll all go away. It takes personal investment, and it takes change on a very individual level as well. So it's a journey. Well, I think that people are very empowered in many different ways. And does everyone want to be empowered, or does everyone need to be empowered? I think it's also a question of the work. Again, a question of the person as well. I mean, there's different ways to empower people. For example, I think it was one of the first Six Sigma works on the assembly lines in Japan, in Toyota, where the individual worker on the line, if he saw a defect, had the power to stop the assembly line, to say, there's a problem we need to stop. So that would be an example, a pretty early, because I mean, I'm talking about sort of early 70s here, a very early example of some pretty extreme empowerment, because you're taking the lowly assembly worker who's just sort of tightening, bolt number 7 with wrench number 5, and you give him the power to stop the whole thing, which costs millions. So there's a lot of different ways of doing it. The relationship that I've had with Fabric is very much of a trusted partner, working together to move projects forward, to find the best possible answer within the context. Because I mean, things aren't always cut and dry, and it's not about just applying a formula. So it's about trying to understand the need, understanding the desire, and seeing how we can answer it together the best way. Well, working with people outside the company is important too, because when you're inside chopping down a tree, you don't always see the forest. And it's nice. So even if one of the strengths that we have is knowing the culture and knowing the company and the organizational structures and how things generally work, having an exterior eye and a fresh perspective on things can be very useful as well. The work that we've done together is very much in co-creation. It's about what can we. It's not about what I can purchase as a client. It's about what we can do together. It really, I mean, from my point of view, it's more of a partnership in execution than a customer-supplier relationship. Working within the greater ecosystem and working on things that I mean, at least from my point of view, I believe are important. You have to believe in the systemics of things. That the little things that we do can have impacts later on. And if more and more people are working on new ways of working, then that's when new ways of working start to become the old ways of working. I think you have to drink your own champagne. And what you can offer, I think you also have to do it. I mean, it's a famous phrase said by Gandhi that you have to be the change that you want to see in the world, and I think that's true. It starts right here and now.